Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to do a quick comparison between the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V and the Galaxy S22 Ultra so that you guys who are interested in buying this phone could get a better idea of how these two compare. Now, I have been a long time Samsung user. I have had many notes, and I have always been willing to try the Sony Xperia for its camera and its content creation potential. When Sony announced, I decided to go for it and see all what the fuss was about on this telephone. Now, I'm not gonna review it like how the other reviewers have done it on YouTube. They have done a fantastic job about unboxing the phone and whatnot. I'm just gonna maybe fill in the blanks here a bit and tell you about my experience, specifically if you are a Samsung user, for example, from the Note Ultra or whatever other S series. How does it feel like going to the Xperia 1? Is it worth it? What are the pros and cons? So I'm just going to give you my personal take after using this as my daily driver for more than a month now. So first off, maybe the first thing I would say that from a physical point of view, the phone is narrow. It's not super narrow, but there's a 7mm difference between both of these devices. I personally prefer the wider screen of the S22. It's you get better real estate. You don't have as big of a resolution. This is a 4K screen. I believe this one's not a 4K screen, but yet I still prefer the bigger screen real estate compared to the narrowness of the Xperia. Having said that, I don't know why the S22 has a curved screen, and still I think the S23 still has it if I'm not mistaken. But flat screen, for me personally, is the best design for a phone, specifically a phone that has the S Pen. I have countless times had to write on the edge sometimes and you slip and whatnot. So I hope in the future, in the S24 maybe, Samsung will change their design and maybe go for a flat screen. That would be amazing. Okay, now from a software point of view, so physically, I would just say, yeah, just to maybe the build quality of this phone is amazing. It's really good. It's a very sturdy phone. It feels nice, premium. I really like the build quality. It's you know, it has a very nice texture to it. You know, the famous rigged a bit design and the ribbed design here on the sides. I use mine with a case, and it's pretty good. Just it took me a couple of days to get used to the narrowness, but now it's okay. So one of the things I will say though now is from a software perspective. So let me just quickly unlock both phones. So here we are. Now, both of these phones are on full brightness, just so that you can compare. And the first thing I want to say is you of course have the one UI of Samsung here, and then you have a really stock Android experience. From a notification screen point of view, I personally think that I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. I think that I personally prefer the Samsung UI. I think the icons, the icons and the design overall is much more aesthetically pleasing, whereas you can see these big kind of bubbled ringed areas in the notification, and the color adapts to your wallpaper. But I personally didn't like the aesthetics. I realized how much more Samsung has put in terms of software, be it the gallery software, be it their AI and the gallery software, the notepad that comes built in for the S Pen, or even the note-taking app. You get a lot of software in the S22, whereas you have to install everything in Android. And as a side note, of course, I do not like installing applications like notepad applications or other things like that, just to reduce my chances of being, you know, installing spyware or malware, because I'll let you guys look this up, but it's a reality, right? So I just try to keep it as simple as possible on my devices for security reasons, and to keep the bare minimum and use the stock applications. And unfortunately, there's no note taking by stock application in the Android. You have to go and install one. I'm using Notion here. There's small things like that where I realize that Samsung has really gone to the next level in the software area, and their gallery application is really good. There's the photo application that comes with Google, but I personally have been using it for the past month now, but I do not personally like it. I think that there are many other features that come out of the gallery application, so which I prefer. Now, so just from a Samsung user's perspective, if you are like in the same, coming from the same background as myself, having been a Samsung user, you will feel a bit, I would say, disappointed from all the things that Samsung was giving you out of the box from a software perspective compared to the Sony. Now, having said that, one other thing that I've noticed on this device is when you put the Sony in 120 hertz refresh rate, the color changes on the display. There's a slight green tint that appears, and that is a bit disappointing, to be honest. I noticed that when I was in the menu, and so just as an FYI, I don't know if it's because my device is defective or not, but I did notice that. So, and if you've also noticed that, I'll be interested to know. Leave that in the comment. Would be good to know. Now, concerning the screen quality, both screens are amazing, and like I said, if you change the refresh rate, you will see also the white become a bit better. So right now, I'm not running on full refresh rate. I mean, 120 hertz. I'm on 60 hertz on both screens right here. And when I'm looking at the screen, I can see that the white is better on the Xperia compared to the S22. I haven't activated the creators mode. I'm just on standard mode here, which is another mode in the Sony Xperia to go into and increase your color or change your screen color to be able to consume the media how the original person who created the media intended the colors to be like. So you just go into this here and you have this, I'm just going to zoom in here. You have this creator mode right here. And this enables you to have in 4K with 10-bit color HDR. So I haven't done that. I've just left this for the comparison to be as close as possible to the Samsung. And you can see like I personally prefer the white here. Now, one other thing that I've noticed, this is the Exynos chipset on the S22 Ultra because I have the European version. And obviously, as you all know, and if you don't know, do not get this phone. Do not get the S22 Ultra with the Exynos chip. It's a disappointment to say the least in terms of performance, battery life, everything. Now, one thing though I will say, which I'm very disappointed with the Qualcomm Snapdragon Gen 2 chip here on the left-hand side in the Xperia, and I don't think it's my personal setup, but the Wi-Fi on this chip does not perform as good as the Wi-Fi that comes on the S22 Exynos model, or even on the Nothing phone with which I'm filming right now this review. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. I've got a Wi-Fi 6 router here, Netgear router in my living room, and it's more than a gigs in terms of connection. And just see for yourself how both perform. And like the Nothing phone, which has even an older CPU, Qualcomm CPU, older gen, actually performs better than the Xperia also in the Wi-Fi, and it's consistently better. So I'm just going to run this one right now, just all by itself, the Sony, and show you. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is so slow on the Xperia, but the Sony works better on the 5 gigahertz where it gets substantial more bandwidth. But it's just something to know. I don't know, maybe it's my device that is defective. I don't know. If you have had a similar experience, please do let me know. I would be very interested to know. Now, I will be testing out also the video features of both devices. I have had a look on the Cinetone and the Venice profiles in both of the apps, the video apps that come with the Sony, and they look really pretty. They look good. They look good. Xperia one seems to have an upper hand right now from the quick tests that I have made, but I'll give you the full breakdown in my review. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's a very quick review and some feedback, a real world case. Battery life, sorry, I just forgot about that. The battery life on the S22 was appalling. still is. I'm using it less and less now since a month anyways, but it was never great. I don't get 2 days here on this Xperia. I would say a good solid 1 day, 1.5 days. Yes, it works pretty well. To be fair, I thought the Qualcomm would do a better job in terms of power management than the Exynos, but it is doing it, and it's more powerful anyways. But you can get a one strong, at least in my day, and of course everyone's days varies. But I've used it, I would say, not intensely, but quite a lot throughout the day, and since 1 month, and on average, I would say one good charge with 20% remaining or 30% remaining at the end of the day. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I will try to answer or do some extra tests if you need them to get some clarity. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys. Bye.